Hi, so in this chapter we will learn about Python scope. Okay, so what is the scope? Look, first we will see the local scope. Local LOCAL scope. Okay, look, when a variable is created inside a function, then it belongs to the local scope of that function and it can only be used inside that function. Okay, I've told you in the previous videos also, but still I am repeating the same because we have the scope chapter right now. So let's take an example. Let me define my function first, func. Okay, here let me put 300 as x, and here I am printing the x also. We have forgot to mention this. Now we will use this. Okay, now when we will call it from outside, like my func, then what will happen? X will be printed, right? So here we are creating a variable which is inside a function, and it is also available inside that function, not outside that function. Okay, so as here I explained you, the variable x, this variable x is not available outside the function, but it is available for any function inside this function, right? So it is a local variable, and even this local variable can be accessed from a function within the function. Okay, let me tell you how it is being done. We can access this local variable from within the function. How I am saying this, let me define this thing again, or let me just copy it. Let me copy the same thing. We will add the code. We have defined a my function. I have created a variable so called 300 value. Then here what I'll do, again I'll define, let's say, inner function. Okay, and then again I am doing the same thing. Now I am printing, and in the function itself I am calling a class. uh, Wait, defining, and then if I am using this, print would be this. Now INNERFUNC. Okay, and if I'll run this, invalid syntax. Okay, here it is. Okay, if I'll run this, I am getting the same thing. So here what I am doing, I am accessing the local variable from a function, but inside a function, within a function. Okay, here I have already created x. Again I am defining a function, and means a nested function, you can say, function inside function, but we are accessing the local variable. So these all are the basic concept of local variable. Okay, what about the global variable? If you want to use it, then global scope. Okay, so if a variable is created in the main body, not in the local body, okay, of the Python code, then it is called the global variable, and it also belongs to the global scope. And you can use this global variable within any scope, any local function, any global function, in any way, anywhere. Okay, let me create an example first. Let's say x is equal to 300. Now I am defining outside a function. Okay, and after assigning, I will create a function now, my func, and then putting a condition, and here now I am printing x value, even though I have not given the x value inside a function. I have given outside the function as a global one. And so if I'll call this func NC U. If I'll call this outside, then what will happen? Let me print it. Look, 300 is printed now. And if I'll print again the same thing outside, both are working. Look, we can access this x means this variable outside the function also and through inside the function also. Okay, so this is basically called the global scope, so-called global variable. Okay, let me create it. So now let me tell you a term about naming variable. Like, just suppose if you operate with the same variable name inside and outside a function, because here in this example we are taking x, right? So what if I want to use a same variable name even inside a function or outside a function? Then what Python will do? Python will actually treat them as a two separate variable. Okay, one available in the global scope means outside the function here, and one available in the local scope inside a function. Let me tell you by an example. Let's say here we are putting 300. Okay, and then we are defining a new function. Okay, and here we have already mentioned x as 300 as a global scope, but now again we will do with the same name, but this time the values are different, and now I am printing the x. Okay, and now outside the function I am just calling the function func from outside. Okay, and let me create one more thing for accessing the global variable. If I'll print the both, you can see the function is now printing the local x, and then the code will print the global x. Okay, both the x are printed now. One is outside the function means global one, and one is inside the function. Understood? So here just suppose if you need to create a global variable but you are stuck in the local scope, then you can use the global keyword also. Global keyword. This global keyword actually makes the variable global. So how to do this? Just suppose again I am creating a function, let's say new function, and condition is here at starting I am putting global x. Okay, and then I am assigning it to, let's say, 300. I have used a global keyword so that it could get global. Now it is belongs to global scope, this x, although it is written in the local function, okay, inside a function. If I'll call this function from outside, let's say new func from outside, and the same let me do for the global one also. If I'll print this, then you can see we don't have the global variable outside, so this thing is not happening. Okay, we have a function is in local one, but the problem is we have written this x as a variable in the inside function, but the problem is we are putting the global, we have initialized it to global, so this new function will write empty. If you run this, just suppose, let me hash this. If you run, then look, nothing is happening because we have already assigned it to global. So this is using the global. If you'll write the new function here, nothing will happen. It is using it as a global variable outside the function. That's the reason I have did the same. Now it will print 300. And even we can use the global keyword if just suppose in any case you want to make changes to the global variable inside a function. So what will happen here? Let me uh, comment it first. Let's say for changing the value of a global variable inside a function, we will use this global variable. Okay, we can do this for the same. Let's say initialize x is equal to 300 outside a function. Then I'll define, let's say, sharat, so called a function. Okay, then I'm putting a condition that now x is already I have mentioned outside. Now again I'll put global x here, and then x is equal to 200. Okay, and then I'll call sharat from outside, and again I am printing x. So what will happen here? 200 is printed. Why? Because for changing the value of a global variable inside a function, it is already defined, right? But we have changed it here. Then we will use the global keyword as I told you. Okay, it is not now overwritten. So the next thing means after initialization of global, the next thing is putting assigning of x, because we are changing x here. So this will be overwritten by 300. 300 is not used. 200 is now a new variable for x, which is globally. Understood? So this is the basic concept of scope. If you don't understand, then watch the video again and again and you will get to know. Okay, so that's all for this section. I'll see you in the next section where we will see how the module actually works and how it is being created. Okay, so till then, bye bye.